The story opens up with a distressed woman cradling an unusual large newborn, whom she names brings him home wrapped in a blanket to hide him from the outside world. It's evident that there's some mystery surrounding this baby, but we don't know about it yet. As the years pass, we watch Cootie grow at a rapid pace in both size and strength. This causes him to unintentionally break down the doors as he moves around, although he is loved and well taken care by his aunt and uncle. They keep him indoors and forbid him from going outside. He watches the other neighborhood kids playing outdoors while he spends most of the time reading his favorite comic book, The Hero. 19 years later, Cootie has grown 13 feet tall. Since he no longer fits inside the family home, his caring aunt and uncle build a new, larger house where he can freely move. One day, while watching TV, he comes across a tempting advertisement for burgers from a fast food chain called Bing Bang Burger. Despite his curiosity to try them, his uncle insists that they're harmful. Turns out, the Guardians still maintain strict control over Cootie's activity and confine him within the yard. They are concerned for his safety and fear the potential dangers of the outside world. As a result, Cootie spends his day indoors, working out, playing video games, and watching movies. One night, he sneaks out of his home for the very first time, cleverly disguised as a bush. As he cautiously explores his surrounding, he stumbles upon a group of kids, his own age, hanging out nearby. Suddenly, a boy named Felix sees something unusual moving in the bush. Initially, he thinks he's just high, but he soon realizes that the bush is actually a giant in disguise. With this, the word of the hidden giant spreads like wildfire throughout the town. The neighborhood kids then give Cootie the nickname Tramp Monster and even make t-shirts by the same name. A few days later, Felix and his friends Jonas and Scat catch sight of Cootie from outside the fence. Surprisingly, he calls them inside, and as they hang out, they are amazed by his strength and talent. The group then invites Cootie to show him the outside world, but he recalls how his aunt and uncle have strictly prohibited him from doing so. Nevertheless, he boldly declares, "I'm a Virgo, and Virgo loves adventure." That evening, Cootie's new friends take him out on a drive and introduce him to the joys of car cruising and subwoofers. Cootie, in turn, enjoys every moment of his freedom and these new experiences. Upon returning home, he is met with the disapproving glares of his aunt and uncle. Apparently, they had stumbled upon his car stunt video online. In response, Cootie argues that they have kept him from everything that the world has to offer. His aunt then reveals a series of articles about the tragic fates of giants who mysteriously died and were inhumanely exploited for this. It turns out that throughout history, there has been one such individual in every generation, yet society has always rejected them. Following this, Cootie joins his new friends and grab a Bing Bang Burger. While there, he notices a girl named Flora working with incredible speed. After handing out his order, he surprisingly reveals her own Trump Monster t-shirt, showing her support. Cootie then excitedly takes a bite of the burger and discovers that it actually tastes awful. Afterward, the group heads to a club where Felix introduces a new girl. He tries his best to talk to her, but she ends up rejecting him. As they leave, he accidentally bumps into a man, causing a fight to break out. The man and his friends then cling on to Cootie and beat him up, but he remains unfazed. For long, news of this brawl spreads across the media. The hero, the real-life superhero from Cootie's favorite comic book, monitors the news closely and instructs his AI to evaluate the potential threat by the Tramp Monster, while Cootie's aunt and uncle also tune in to the news coverage and prepare themselves for whatever may come. The uncle then taps on the wall in a rhythmic pattern, revealing a secret shelf with an enormous gun hidden within. Following this, Cootie stops by Bing Bang Burger again, and Flora is delighted to see him. Later, he heads over to Scat's house to hang out with his friends. As they talk, he confesses that he is interested in her, but also wants to take things slow and get to know her better. However, John scoffs at him and reminds him that he barely knows Flora. He also suggests that jumping into a relationship would be a dumb decision considering his limited experience in the outside world. Instead, she advises him to keep things light and casual rather than rushing into a serious commitment. Shortly after, Cootie mentions that he's run out of cash, so he can't go to Bing Bang Burger to see Flora. Felix immediately mocks him and questions how he plans to have a girlfriend if he can't even afford a burger. But Johns jumps in and reassures Cootie that staying true to himself is far more valuable than money, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Afterwards, Cootie approaches his aunt to ask for money, but his plan backfires as she becomes furious upon learning that he has been sneaking out from the house.